New knife day, everybody. We are going to be taking a look at the Milwaukee Fastback pocket folding knife. I've been looking at this one for a while. It's another tool knife, which is fantastic. I like tool knives because they strike a nerve. You know, it's a knife that's supposed to be made to use like a tool. It's not a fancy knife. It's not a pretty knife. It's a knife that's been used to be made like a tool. And that's what I like because I use knives every day. I'm going to change the way I do these videos up. Instead of doing a brand new review and then a follow-up on it, I'm just going to do it all in one video and try to keep it very, very low minutes so you guys aren't losing your freaking minds watching this. So you're going to get a little bit now, and I'll use this knife for 2 weeks, and then you'll get the other part of the video all in one. And this talking that I'm doing right now is actually going to not make much sense. Anyways, we're gonna do it though. So bam, like magic, out of the package. Milwaukee Fastback folding pocket knife. Right off the bat, I like Milwaukee products. I'm not like the hugest fan of the look of this knife, but it's passable. It's a decent look, it's a decent shape, aesthetically decently pleasing. Okay. One thing right off the bat I did notice is I like the way it feels in my hand. And if you guys have watched any of my videos, you know I got a big grip. I need a knife with a little bit of handle. I had my doubts about this because it's a smaller handle, but it actually fits very well in my hand. The contour feels good. No real hard edges that feel like they're digging into your fingers, which is great, especially for a guy like me who does a lot of this stuff one-handed when I'm working on things. I like the low profile clip, if that's what you can call it. It definitely feels like it's out of the way. There's a good weight to this. I like the weight that it feels in my hand. It's that hard Milwaukee plastic. You got your black metal liner in there, and you got your blade, right? I'm not sure what the steel is. It didn't show it on the package, I don't think, but it's got a nice stone washed matte finish on there, and I really like the way it looks aesthetically. I'm going to close it for the first time. And I didn't realize this right off the bat, but as I see it now, the blade release is under the blade, which if you know anything about my videos, you'll know that that's not my favorite spot for it, because you always create a potential pinch point. So, or cutting pinch point actually. So I'm not a huge fan of that. It's very stiff, right? So this is the release, which essentially drops the pin out of the blade so it can move, but it's very stiff. Like, that's not going anywhere. And I can't pull the blade out of the knife without that release. So that one-handed right off the bat's kind of a problem, because I have to depress this button here to get the blade out. Can't do that with my left hand. So that's a problem for me right off the bat, because I'm holding the phone with my right hand and I can't open the knife now. So give me just a second. And we're back. Yeah, even with my right hand, very difficult to get the blade out one-handed. So that's a big problem right off the bat for me, is I do a lot of this stuff one-handed, and I need a knife that I can flip out and flip open really quick. So yeah, that's not the best. Very stiff knife, very stiff. I'm probably gonna run through the gamut of opening and closing it like about 100,000 times to try to loosen it up. I don't like taking tools to any of these to fix the problem unless I absolutely have to. I like to give it its fair run, its due course. But that's a big problem for me right off the bat. I can't really do a sharpness test in my vehicle because right now at the moment I am again holding the phone with one hand and doing a video with the other, but it's not that sharp. Running my finger over the blade, there's not a lot of grab. So right off the bat, with what I've seen, I'm giving this a 5 out of 10, which is unfortunate because I like Milwaukee, but there's some serious function flaws with this knife for me. So I'm going to use it for 2 weeks, try to keep these videos short, and then I'll get back to everybody later. Peace out.
2 weeks later.
All right, everybody, it's been 2 weeks. Actually, it's been a little bit longer than 2 weeks using the Milwaukee Fastback pocket folder. Now, you know, I had some concerns going into this, how companies like Milwaukee or DeWalt or Cat, they'll do really good in a handful of categories with their other products, like exceptionally well, and then they'll branch out into other things. And those other branch out products don't always do so well. They're kind of crappy. They just kind of generically have a tool and throw their name on it. But this one's not that way. This knife is actually done very well. It's still sharp. I mean, surprisingly sharp. Whatever steel they used for this, and I've been cutting a ton of stuff. I've been cutting cardboard, plastic zip ties, heavy duty banding straps, solid plastic, paracord. I've been using it to pry up nails and staples, and even use the little lip here to get up underneath a nail and pry it up out of some wood. I mean, this thing is super, super well made for what it is. Surprisingly, I mean, I'm a Milwaukee fan already, but I genuinely thought this was going to be probably just one of those dumbed down, throw our name on it type of tools, and people are going to buy it because it's got a Milwaukee on it. But it performed a lot better than I thought it would. It was $19.99 when I bought it, so it's not very expensive, right? It's very affordable for a tool knife. And some of the concerns I had with this in the beginning, I mean, they're still not great, but the stiffness of this is gone, right? I mean, check that out. When I first did the initial review, almost couldn't whip this thing open with all the space in the world. It's loosened up. It opens perfectly like butter every time. It retained its edge. I don't know if you guys can see this. There's no chinks, no nicks. It's still very sharp, which is awesome. One thing I still don't like about it, which isn't going to change, is the blade release is underneath the blade, which always causes a potential for pinch points and cut points, which I'm not a fan of at all. I wish the button release would do the release for the blade as well. I understand why they didn't do it, because it would be easy to press and the blade could accidentally close. I get it. Doesn't mean I like it. All in all, though, this thing was super easy to use, super comfortable, fit just right in my hand. It's sturdy as all get out from the day I started. I know two and a half weeks isn't a lot of time, but I try to use it as much as possible for everything I can. Any type of cutting, prying to an extent. I mean, I even used this at one point to pull a screw out of something. I used the tip and it didn't break the tip, didn't bend the tip, didn't damage the tip. So whatever steel they use is awesome. The plastic is probably the same plastic used for like the pack out stuff, which is a solid plastic. I'm pretty stoked with this knife. I thought I was going to dislike it because it's like a novelty knife, but this is actually a really good tool knife. If you're looking to pick one up, this gets 2 thumbs up from me. Good steel, good make. Got a couple things I'm not stoked about, but I can look past that. And I mean, yeah, I've got nothing negative to say about this thing. It performed better than I expected. So if you're looking at getting the Milwaukee Fastback button release pocket folder, $19.99 most places, you might find it cheaper. 2 thumbs up from Phillibuster Media, and that's saying something, I guess. You know, my opinion on it. Let me know what you think, man. If you think this knife sucks, if you want to just jive about how cool Milwaukee is with me, because I'm a Milwaukee fanboy, unfortunately, because it's expensive. Not the most expensive, but expensive enough. Just shoot me a chat. We're trying to grow the channel. We're trying to put new, fun, interesting stuff up there. We're branching out into social media everywhere, so you hopefully see something, one of our links, one of our videos. And if you have any other knives or tools you want me to check out and review, let me know. I am still working on how I'm going to do multi-tools, and I'm thinking I'm going to do like a build scenario where I have to pick something that I'm going to build, where I have to cut, where I have to use the screwdrivers, where I have to use all the tools in the tool to build a specific item, and see how that fares up. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm working on concepts. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch my videos. It means a lot to me. And, you know, have a good day, guys.